Pragmata is absolutely amazing. It's wholesome, warm, and sweet. And I honestly have to say, we do not get enough games like that any longer. And obviously, whenever something like this happens, you know the worst people are gonna come out in droves and say that no, you are wrong. You are wrong for liking family values. You are wrong for not hating these things. And it's absolutely disgusting. Pragmata currently is serving as pretty much the easiest litmus test to see who is pretty much evil and not at this point. It is insane. TheGamer recently made an article like this. Gaming cannot allow Pragmata's Diana fan club to flourish. What a headline. You'd think there's something wrong with this fan club, but no, they're not. It's actually a wholesome and sweet thing. It's a nice thing, okay? The people who should be put in prison, I hope they're gonna be put in prison. We should expand prisons, actually, because clearly not enough people are put into them, because a lot of them are somehow accessing the internet. But I digress. That's for America to figure out. Everything is fine here. Diana is awesome, lovable, and likable. And anyone who finds anything with that wrong or bad, you're just showing us who you truly are. And most likely you're evil. That's just the way of things. The person who wrote this article for TheGamer literally said this in that article. I have not yet played Pragmata. And that's because I'm a little tapped out on stories where men adopt daughter-like figures and prove their masculinity by protecting them. The two most basic things in life. Men's will to protect others for the greater good, and masculinity as a positive concept. The two most basic things in the universe, obviously two of the most evil things for the weirdo leftists out there to hate, because they can't and will never be any of them, because they can't. They don't have it in themselves. You know what actually Trump should do? If Trump... I figured out how you actually completely eradicate leftists in America, and that is just give free testosterone to people who identify as leftists. Because experiments on this have been done, and they have been outlawed because of their unanimous results. And that is the fact that if you give a leftist testosterone, they are suddenly going to embrace a right-wing values. Ain't that strange? Ain't that a little bit strange? Ain't that the strangest darndest thing ever? I wonder why. Gee, I wonder how that happens. And on the other hand, you had, if you scramble brains with magnets, and I'm actually not going to even say this one, but it is hilarious. Because the UK did some research into this, and this is modern day research, by the way, not even something from the 1980s, which is double the hilarity. In any case, I suppose it's marginally a better power fantasy than killing everybody with your awesome power. Oh, imagine there's an article actually written fully like this, like every sentence is just this deplorable. Yes, that's the world we live in. Everybody with your awesome strength, but then The Last of Us makes room for both anyway. I mean, this is also obviously a person who absolutely loved The Last of Us Part 3, because obviously, or was it Part 2? I don't even remember at this point. In any case, you know what we're talking about. A new meltdown from TheGamer just released about Pragmata, and then the activist goes all the way coping about Stellar Blade in the article. Of course, they have to also cope about Stellar Blade, because you see, women cannot be good looking, okay? The good looking women are not real, okay? They're not real, even though half the games are modeled by good looking women, and then they're uglified on the West. I don't know how that happens, but I mean, good-looking women are not real. Remember that, chud? Impossible, not a real thing. Every woman is actually obese. in the article to reject Pragmata because examples of father figures proving masculinity are considered problematic. The most problematic, obviously. In fact, there has never been anything more problematic. You should apologize and probably pledge allegiance to a rainbow flag or something. I don't know. Pick one at this point. Honestly, it does not matter. People are, needless to say, not exactly happy because, I mean, who is happy about reading the Gamer article at this point? I would submit the movies Grifter and Real Steel as other examples of father-child relationships that aren't creepy. The Black Stallion, another one. Oh, this is just examples of similar things. Okay, that's pretty nice. In any case, Pragmata is doing pretty good. It's not exactly exploding in popularity, but we already know that 1 million copy was sold in 2 days, which is, I assume, actually a success. I'm not 100% sure, but I assume it's probably a success considering all of this is made on the same engine with the same assets that, everything else has ever been made by, Capcom. So I'm assuming that this is not a problem. Capcom's doing good. This is the post that was done. Huge. I heard more than 1 million people got our game. Hey, do you think we're famous on Earth now? And it's a little cutesy drawing with 1 million units sold. Thank you and all of that good stuff. Wholesome stuff. The game that openly caters to Dr. Disrespect people sells 1 million copies in 2 days. Shows how truly sick our society really is. I agree. I absolutely agree. The fact that you are allowed to have this opinion in public and say something this stupid does show that we have fallen a lot, and maybe it's time to bring back corporal punishments and a lot of other things. Ever heard of draconic punishments? Well, I have, and I think they worked fucking great. Because society collapses when the rules no longer are worth enforcing because the punishment for crimes is not big enough. And I think that's a massive problem, and I think a little bit of draconic punishment here and there, mostly the politicians, obviously. Let's start with Europe and America, and, well, actually, just the whole world, okay? Okay? How about we make it hard to cheat? How about we make it hard to lie? How about we do all of these things? How about we put the sponsorships on these people so we know who has bought their souls? How about we do all of those things? And then we can get rid of opinions as dumb as this. And this was by Pirate Nation. No, we liberals called you PDF. You weren't supposed to buy the game. These people are projecting. Yes, this has been... Pragmata has easily been the greatest self-report ever. I'm just waiting until Hassan has another meltdown on this topic because, I mean, he already had one. Oh, gamers thinking about families. Said the guy who literally has no family and is pushing 50. It is what it is. Anyway, here's a cute little meme just for the fun of it, boys. A RAM card being eaten or a memory card. I fucking have no idea. I literally have no idea what computers are made of. I'm assuming candy at this point. We got the situation where there was... People are, by the way, comparing how absolutely disingenuous, obviously, these detractors of Pragmata are. The fact that we have Resident Evil 9 with the Mother Simulator, which obviously no one had a problem with, but, Pragmata comes out and it's a dad simulator and everyone loses their minds, obviously. Here's just a cute little fucking, thing, because obviously, why not? Makes my day better, makes probably your day a little bit better. Nice things are nice. I like nice things. I am disgusted. I honestly thought better of Capcom as a company. Honestly, on a real note, you shouldn't. But on the other, this is a joke post. I can't believe they would put AI art in Pragmata. That's a great post. Like, mega clappies, boys, mega clappies. This is a great post. Absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 person. 10 out of 10. But in any case, it's honestly been amazing that Pragmata has had this consistent level of absolute super meltdown for these people for many days now. How long has been Pragmata out? It got released on the 17th. It's been 5 days. It's the 5th day. Jesus. And I mean, they're still melting down. They're still melting down at people like normal things and like wholesome things. Again, it's been one of the biggest self-reports in human history, easily. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.